Alright, welcome to a special patriotic edition of Attack the Track. We are in the next gen here at Texas, and before we get into anything else, it is Patriotic Paint Scheme Week, and Will Bussler has hooked me up and has the Under Armour Chevy Camaro looking fantastic. So we'll just go around real quick, see each side of it, and Will's information will be in the description, so if you want him to make sure you're looking as good as I am on track, hit him up and he can hook you up. So, having said that, we are at Texas. It's going to be a night race, so should be cool temps. As you can see here, it's partly cloudy, 78 degrees with a track temp of 78, which means there's going to be a lot of grip out here. And track state usage is at 43%. So that should match up pretty well with what we're going to expect. I'm going to do a couple of laps here. First we'll go over qualifying. I probably won't talk during the qualifying lap. I have a tendency to mess up if I talk while I'm doing it. It is going to be a second lap qualifying, and so let's go out and do that real quick. I'll probably do 2 runs so you can see like which one's faster and where I mess up and whatnot. I'm going to try to run them the same, but we know how that goes. And then I'll go over some long run stuff. I've done several long runs, and it's interesting to see how the long run is, because it's very different and very easy to burn up your tires. But we will get into that after these qualifying runs here. So doesn't matter how you take turn 1 here on your first lap. We are going to run high out of 3 and 4. You don't want to run too high. There's like a big bump if you're running too high. It's about 3/4 of the way through 3 and 4. So you want to make sure that you get in under that. I didn't get anywhere low enough, so this will be perfect to show the overdrive on how bad it kills you if you don't get all the way to the bottom. Yeah, that was way off. So overdriving kills you. Go do that again. Yeah, you want to stay low in 3 and 4 because those bumps will get you. Better. We're still not there though. I think I can get in the O's. Let me try one more time. So what I did there was made sure to get to the bottom in 1 and 2. And then in 3 and 4, you do the same thing, but you'll notice it gets really loose like when you let off, and so I wasn't going back full throttle super early in 3 and 4 because it's more important to stay at the bottom than it is to full throttle. Hitting 1 and 2 right is really hard too. Alright, see if we can get in the O's here.
.629.
Damn it. Alright, last try. I knew it too. Going in, I'm like, you're going to overdrive it, but I know what to do on entry, so. You'll notice on my run to 3 and 4, I was running a little bit higher, running on this seam as well. It gave me a little bit more speed.
.694.
Alright. That's more like it. Let's go over how I messed up royally the first 3 times, and then had a semi-decent run. Alright, so on the first one here, you're not going to be able to see it from there. I just completely overdrive and miss getting to the bottom. So one thing to note for the entire run is this little white patch of asphalt here. That's going to be super important. That's going to be one of my markers for the entire run. And so you can see it here coming up, but you can also see it pretty well right here in cockpit view. But that's going to be pretty important. That's what I'm judging most of this off of, because you do have the banking transition that goes down, but before I get to that, I'm using this little white patch here. But as you can see, I just completely overdrive and miss bottom. Don't get anywhere near it. So that's what killed the first run. And then second run was pretty good, but since we got a better one than that, we won't go over that. And so so yeah, make sure you hit the bottom. We'll go to the fast run. We will back it up. Coming in and out of 3. So with this, you can see I lift as I'm getting to the edge of the dash lines here and kind of riding the top. But as you're coming around, let's see. Get better in cockpit view. It's around these billboards here. So the bottom is fine. This second lane, if you've got your lefts right against this seam, you're going to be pretty good. But it's, I forget if it's the beginning or the end of the billboards, but somewhere around these billboards, if you're up higher than that second lane, then you're going to get hit, and it's going to be a super loose time. It's going to kick the car to the left. That's what it's going to do. And if you happen to be full throttle when you're doing that, you're pretty much screwed. So if you get trapped up high and you're coming up on the billboards, I would lift a little bit to 85-90% or whatnot. Then you'll feel it kind of bottom out or whatnot, but it won't turn the car to the left, and then full throttle again. So just be careful on that. And that is why I'm coming down and cutting across to the bottom when I'm coming to do my fast lap here. Because it's right around here, but you're fine down here where I'm at. So we're coming through. I tend to cut this here and make it straighter, even coming to the line. I know a lot of people come out wider, but it's just me. I go pretty much straight at it. And then what I'm aiming for, I'm aiming to get pretty close to the red here, not super, not all the way against the wall, but I'm going to come in and try to arc it around this white patch here. So when I get here, my aim is for the car to start pointing and diving down to the bottom. On the other lap, that was the 134, I was running a little bit lower, which is actually what you do for the long runs. But for the qualifying run, you want to be a little bit higher and then point down, because you can go back and watch, and that's where I gained all that time on entry, was coming up here and then coming down. So you see, I swung up high, and then my lefts are going to go just on the upper side of this and cutting down to the bottom of the track. And I'm not braking here, as you can see. Now, the other marker that I have is where this little patch goes over the line. And that's going to be a marker for the entire run. You don't necessarily do things right at that, but you do it in relation to that. So you might say, all right, well, I'm gassing up a little bit before that or a little bit after that or whatever. But that is my marker for being on the bottom of the track here. And it looks like for the qualifying run, I was gassing up before it, right before it. And then you just kind of hang on. For 3 and 4, you drive it as deep as you can for qualifying. So I start to turn in just on the outside of these, but you can see I'm going to drive it as hard toward that 3 sign as I possibly can. So I'm lifting, and I'm a couple stars away from it, but visually it's like if you're in the cockpit, it's like right when you're getting at it, right? It's just right before it. But one thing to notice here, though, is look, I don't get back full throttle on the gas. You can. You're just going to be really loose when you do it, and it's a little bit safer to not go full throttle as soon as you can. So I've been full throttle since before this Cup Series time before, and you can do it. It's just a lot riskier, and I don't think it's worth it. And then again, I cut my lefts over this line as much as possible here, and that's how you get an 080. Now we'll go over long run, because if you do that over the course of a long run, and fuel run is 60 laps here, if you do that, your front tires are going to be at about 33%, and your right rear is going to be about 55. So you go 35 or 33, 35 to 55 on the rears. So you don't want to do that, because it's going to get slow after about 10 laps, and after about 15 laps, the car is going to drive so awful, you're just going to hate life at that point. And even if you cut the race into thirds, you're going to be pitting at lap 45. So you're going to go from lap 10 or lap 15 to lap 45 just hating life the entire way, and that's no way to live, man. So what you're going to want to do during a long run is back it off, but not where you would think. Typically, you back off your entry, right? But you can actually still go all the way to that white spot and then hit, and you are going to want to brake, and then just keep it wrapped around the bottom. And I'll go over this in far view as well. But for 1 and 2, you don't back up entry, oddly enough. You keep your same entry point, but you're easing it on the throttle coming out of the turn. And then in 3 and 4, instead of driving it as hard as you can all the way to the 3 sign, you're going to be lifting a lot earlier at the red sign on the wall. And then again, when you could be getting on at full throttle, you're not going to want to. Everybody's pretty much going to be single file at this point anyway. And so any run that they had prior, because they're going to have a run on you on entry, because they're going to be driving it deeper than you, but they don't have anywhere to go. If they go to the outside, they're going to lose their run, and if they and they can't go to the inside. So basically, they're just going to have to be forced to check up, and they're not going to be able to carry that run out of the turn, unless they're so far back that they just timed it right. And at that point, let them have it. So you just lift at the red, come down, just hug it to the bottom, and then as you're coming out of the turn, that's when you're gonna full throttle and make sure you get it as much on exit as you can.
30.51.
And let me run 2 more laps here, because there's a couple of things I want to show. I need to make sure I hit it right for me to show it though. So we'll go around the track one more time, and then we'll hit pit road.
.573.
We'll come into pit road this time, and then we'll go over it. Maybe we made it. Who knows? Alright, so a couple things on the long run. Like I said, we'll just get a better visual of it. So again, you're going to want to stay around the white here, but you're going to want to brake. Going in without braking is just going to eat your tires up, because it's slowing down. The tires are helping slow down instead of brakes. So you want to do that and hit all the way to the bottom. But and this is going to be your marker the entire time. Usually you want to back up. I've seen people, I've backed up to here before, to the red sign. I backed up to here. I've gone in between. But through testing, you're just losing time on entry at that point. So this is going to be your braking marker the entire time. You might have to back up a little bit before it if you don't adjust brake bias. If you adjust brake bias, you should be able to stay here the entire time. But as you come down, and again, here's your marker, and you can see I'm getting back on it. But you notice I'm not full throttle here. On my qualifying lap, I was already back to full throttle, but here I'm not. And kind of what I'm looking for to judge when to go back full throttle is relation to this red sign. And so, like, right as it's about to get to the edge of my screen, I'm full throttle in here. You can go faster than this, obviously. So if you're racing somebody and you need to maximize exit, go for it. But if you're just running laps, this will pay dividends in the end, I promise. So you just want to hug the bottom here with throttle, and then when you realize that you can come out and go for it. The track rubbers up pretty well, and it stays dark. You can swing out outside of that rubber, but you're going to be burning tires. And so if you notice, hey, I'm on the outside of the rubber, which isn't here now because there's not enough cars, but if you notice that you're running outside of that rubber a lot, then you're probably overdriving the exit of 2, and you're burning your tires up. And so hug that bottom longer than you think you should. And see, I'm not even coming out to the wall until I'm getting to the dash lines here. To do that, same entry here. I'm turning here at the dash, but I'm going to be lifting as I get to the red. It is a full lift. I never brake throughout an entire run. I never brake here in 3 and 4. And then you just kind of hold it. And again, I use the red sign as my marker as to when to fully gas up here. So it looks like I actually went a little bit after that right here, but you can use the red sign, you can use Texas, you can use the white sign, but anyway, basically these turns are longer than you think, and so you're driving it and it's like okay, it's time to go, but it's not. And so you need to find some marker that's on exit or closer to exit to say, okay, now is when I'm gonna go. You're not gonna lose that much time and you're gonna save your tires. So doing this, so I ran a full run, full out, and was right front was 33, right rear was 55%. I did another full run of 60 laps, and right front was 55, and right rear was like 62, 63. So not only was that better wear, the car drove much better the entire time. Like it felt exactly the same from, there is that fall off, in the first 10 laps, but the car felt exactly the same from about lap 12 to lap 60. I never got super tight. I never got super loose. It was very easy to drive, and it was a lot faster too. So you do fall behind running this way, but I found that lap 35 is where you caught up. Remember, if you're splitting the race into thirds, you're only going to pit every 45 laps anyway. But so lap 35 was where it was, and so I was gaining time from 35 all the way to 60. From 35 to 45, I was, or at lap 45, so at 35 I was even on time. At lap 45 I was 3 seconds ahead, and by lap 60 I was 8 seconds ahead, running the air quote slower way to do it. Saving tires. Let's go in and look at pit entry. And so if there's a late caution and we're going to go in and you got 20 laps left, well then by all means just run it ragged. It's going to suck for those last 5 laps or so, but it will be faster. Anything 35 laps or over, take care of your tires, and just do what you've got to do to get through the turn, but don't burn it all off. So for pitting here, my marker is the Texas sign. Not when it's right in front of me, but I'm wanting to go a little bit more toward it. And so, more when I'm at it. We'll see. So I'm coming in. It's a pretty easy pit road. So I went a little far here, but I usually cut way down like inside the line, but you can actually wait until after the line here to get off the track. So do call out when you're pitting, because you're going to be in the line, but you can wait until the line is gone and there's no banking transition there. And so you've got a long way to brake straight on. So yeah, I think I would have made it. But anyway, that is how I attack the track here at Texas. And good luck.